I was always wondering, why do Jews have to suffer? What's the point of the hardship that we as Jews always have to go through, whether it's individual or as a group of people? And it seems always unfair. I mean, the Jews have to suffer so much. But sometimes you find the answers, sometimes you don't find the answers. Sometimes the answer comes much later on in life. So recently I watched, and I'll tell you, it kind of triggered the whole chain reaction. I watched a short clip by this guy, Jocko Willink, what's his name? Willink?
Yeah. Willink, yeah.
Very, very, very impressive. It made me think. Because I understood what he was saying. He was addressing a group of soldiers, American soldiers. And he was talking to them the concept that he calls it suck. The hardship, it's hard. So, and I had something that I could relate to. He said boot camp is just like a sucky experience. It's very hard. You being terrorized over there and yelled on, and it's hard condition, and it's hard, and it's hard, and it's hard. Well, what's the whole concept of boot camp, if you understand? There is a reason for that. And it's to make you tough, to toughen you up, to give you a direction, to give you all these things. And then you go to this better unit, and guess what? You thought the boot camp was hard. If you go from boot camp, let's say, to ranger school, let me tell you what hard is. When I read a few books about what they go through in ranger school, I was like, unbelievable, just unbelievable. So let's say you got your ranger, thing, you went through it, and then you go from there, compare that to some special ops training. It's altogether torturous. So what's the point of that? The point is very simple. It's to make you tough, to make you unified. And how is it unified? Because you seem to, if you take correlation, and you see it very much so, for example, in the Israeli society, the concept is called "achevra me'atzava," the people from the army, my buddies from the army. So the more difficult the situation, the closer the people are. So you have friends that went with you to boot camp. Then you had friends that went with you to advanced training. Then you had more advanced training. This is also a closer knit. And the top of it all is people that went with you to the suckiest of all experiences, is to go to battle. And these are the people so much that we call them what? Brothers in arms. Brothers in arms. In other words, they went to what's so-called baptism on fire. Not their blood brothers. So the reason, the way I see it, is HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us Torah. And when we gave us the Torah in Har Sinai, we were all around the mountain, one nation, under God, unified by the concept, by this thing that's called Torah. And that was wonderful. And what do we say there to God? Na'aseh v'nishma. Whatever you say, we'll do. There's like no questions asked. We'll do it. And we were unified through the Torah, standing in front of God. Now, if you don't want to do that, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, okay, there's other ways for unifying. Am Yisrael needs to be unified. You like it, you don't like it, you believe in it, you don't believe in it. That's a fact. How Am Yisrael is going to be unified, that's already up to us, to you, up to me. And you know it, and you see it all the time. They'll tell you, in Israel, everybody, one against the other, if there is a war, everybody is, people will give you a ride, a hitchhike for you, everybody's body. The war is over, everybody's taking the sword, starts stabbing in one another. And then what happens? Then the suffering comes. Am Yisrael suffers because the people of Am Yisrael refuse to be united. So the suffering comes to unify you. And now, the more we become, and there is a reason for that as well. The more we become undisciplined, the more restrictive our environment becomes. Believe it or not. I mean, look at the political thing. All the people tell you, oh, you could do this, you could do that, freedom here, freedom there, freedom here, freedom there. All of a sudden you find yourself, every time they give you freedom, you have less rights. There was surveillances, they put masks on you, they put this on you. Everybody's getting, it's so funny. In Israel, most of the people got shots, they got the vaccine, and still everybody needs to wear a mask. I mean, you give me freedom, supposedly by words, but you're taking real freedom away from me. So, we need to understand that. There's no discipline. We became very lazy. We need to understand that freedom could be achieved through discipline. If there's no discipline, there is no freedom. I call this the concept freedom through discipline. And Am Yisrael needs to understand that. We want comfort. We want, because it's all about ourselves. So therefore, the more difficult the situation, don't start crying like a little baby. Oh, why me? Why it's so hard for me? You need to understand that the more difficult the situation, the greater the opportunity for you to become stronger. Am Yisrael could become strong through the Torah. Am Yisrael goes through difficulties to make us stronger, and the more difficult. So instead of embracing it, what do? We reject it. We want comfort. We want pleasure. We don't want discipline. We don't want discipline. We all say we want freedom, but we don't want freedom. We all want to say yes to this big brother. We want to be like everybody else. That does not work. Am Yisrael was meant to be like Delta Force. Very unique group of people having each other's back. We don't want to understand that. So that it's not going to stop. It's like you signed yourself to the Marines for the next 27 days or whatever, 27 weeks. You belong to them. There's no way out. That's it. You are not a part of, you don't belong to yourself. You belong to the Marines. We belong to God. And there's no way out of it. And better we start understanding that we need to be together. And we need to have discipline. You cannot achieve anything in your life if you don't have discipline. Discipline is a must. Don't run away from difficulties. There's a difficulty for you. It's another opportunity. Instead of running away with a tail between your legs, going around crying, oh, I have rights. You have a disability? Okay. Are you going to run away from it? Or are you going to do what? See it as an opportunity to become better than everybody else. Oh, I have a learning disability. Okay. What does it mean, a learning disability? You could learn. Maybe slower to somebody. It's not a disability. You're only disabled when you're dead. You can always do something. Everybody wants a solution for you. Oh, don't worry. Don't worry about it. You don't have to work hard. We'll call you disabled. Yeah. We'll give you a syndrome. We'll create a syndrome for you. Don't worry about it. And you see it. The more we become like this, the more so-called we become dependent and embracing our disabilities, the more corrupt we become. The strength of our community, of our society, depends on the discipline that we have, on dealing with stressful situations. And that's the problem. There's no draft in America. People don't go to the army. They used to be served, everything to be served to them. They don't struggle for anything. They want only pleasure. And together with that, society goes down the drain. Down the drain. America is going down the tubes because government is spending money like a drunken, like a senile old man, handing money to everybody. You don't have to do anything. Color should not be a problem. Race should not be a problem. Religion is not a problem. Nothing is an obstacle. The only obstacle that there is in your way is you. Yeah, there are some people who are smarter than the others, and there's some people who are not. But it doesn't mean you can achieve. Doesn't mean you can achieve. So if you want to be really free, you have to be disciplined. And you see it in the Torah all the time. En ben chorim ela mi sheosek b'Torah. Right? You're free only learn the Torah. In order to learn Torah, you need to be, first of all, do what? Kovea itim la Torah. You need to have the discipline to establish time. It is hard for you, not a problem. Chazal had an answer for that. Lefum tzara agra. The harder the trail, the greater the reward. Chazal told us that. So you see, if you want to reach the truth, without a doubt, you can find it in the Torah. You need to understand. But ultimately, yes, even Jocko Willings can say the same truth as Chazal said. Lahavdil, but I know some people are going to get upset at me, but it doesn't make a difference. The truth is the truth. Look at what the person inside now, who's saying it. And that's the truth. Don't run away from difficulties. Things are hard for you. Work harder. Look for discomfort. Don't look to sleep in a 5-bedroom hotel. Go sleep in a tent. Make it hard for you. We became a society of abundance, but without any work. And that is hard. And Chazal told us that as well. Our sages were amazing. Yagata umatzata ta'amin. You work hard and you achieved. Believe in that. Yagata velo matzata. You work hard and didn't achieve anything. Al ta'amin. Don't believe in that. It's impossible. And I'm going to tell you else also. Matzata velo yagata. Also lo ta'amin. If you have a reward without any work, also don't believe in that. It's all a fake. It's not real. So I want you to think about this. And I want you to understand and stop asking the question, where was God here? Why is it hard for us? Because we need to understand. It's good for us. Don't be afraid of difficulties. Don't be afraid of hardship. Because if you understand that from that you're going to become harder, you become tougher, you become better, you're going to embrace it. It's a mindset. And that's what I said to you. Army habits, I said to you before, army habits are really good. Military habits are really good. That's why you cannot have an army, a military of prima donnas. And that's why I expect from each and every one of you. Because we all soldiers in the army of Hashem. And we need one another. And we have the Torah. And even if it's hard, that's good. Because if you're going to work hard under your Torah, you're going to labor hard on learning, you're going to have it. It's going to be yours. You're going to own it. It's going to be yours. You're going to own it. But if it's easy, the way it comes in, that's the way it comes out. You're never going to own anything. There is no substitution for hard work. Don't be afraid of hard work. Don't be afraid of hardship. And don't fall under the convenience of being labeled with a disability or with a condition that, okay, I can't do this now. I told you, I forgot the name of this guy. He has one leg. He's an army veteran, one leg. He was down on the floor. Finished with his life. Because that's it. It was over for him. And now, the guy is a CrossFit master. All these people. Look at Rabbi Akiva, 40 years old. The guy could not even read. All of a sudden became the biggest sage, maybe next to Moshe Rabbeinu. You put the obstacles. You are the one. So get rid of this loser mentality and start kicking some real dust, if you know what I mean. A great day.